you had to be off the drugs to be watching Adventure Time, bro. What the Alright, what's good, YouTube? Reacting to shocking cartoon endings that you might have missed by Brief Tune. Like and subscribe if you fuck with it. You know, let's get it.
Or even creepy, or just overrated. And in this video, every last episode of a series or a cartoon is supposed to be the most important episode of the show. However, the ending might be strange, sad, or even creepy, or just overrated. And in this video, we will see the strangest and saddest cartoon ending. The last episode of Flapjack was hysterical. It was about Flapjack and Knuckles becoming addicted to free candy, and because they ate so much.
This is one of the scariest fucking shows. Was this a Nickelodeon joint? Was this Nickelodeon? I don't know if this is scary, one of the scariest joints of all time.
They turned into mermaids and ended up in the ocean with male mermaids. Ow. But things got worse and they turned into fish because they ate more. Later, they discovered the reason for which they turned like that is because of the fish they played with at the beginning of the episode. The episode was neither sad nor strange, really, but I personally liked it.
This show used to be so fucking random.
The last episode of Gumball was good and satisfying at the same time. It was under the name...
The last episode of Kids Next Door was a special episode, 45 minutes...
Wait.
It was under the name...
The last episode of Kids Next Door...
and satisfying at the same time. It was under the name...
The last episode of Kids Next Door was a special episode, 45 minutes long. In the beginning, the episode of
Gumball was good and satisfying at the same time. It was under the name...
The last episode of Kids Next Door was a special episode, 45 minutes long. In the beginning, they talk about the last adventure of the cartoon character. Everything was normal until the end of the episode, where number 1 wanted to go with the Galactic KND. In the last scene, we discover from number 1 parents that they were as part of Kids Next Door. The traveling to the galaxy scene was sad and dramatic.
I wish we were going with you.
Travel to the galaxy?
Everything's going to be new and exciting for you.
Yeah, that's how I know I wasn't watching this shit.
Everything here is going to be the same.
I'm still confused on why they switched Amazing World to Gumball, but what the fuck? Traveling to the galaxy and shit? Like, what the fuck was they doing?
Abby, number 5, became the new leader and number 1. Then they hugged each other and number 1 left to space.
So who's with me?
Bro, I swear I don't know what it is, but you really just don't remember a last episode of a cartoon show.
As expected. The last episode of Arnold was perfect. It was 44 minutes long and answered the most important question of the cartoon, but not completely. The episode is about Arnold's parents and their last and far journey. At the beginning of the episode, Arnold finds a book that tells his parents' story and what happened to them in the adventure. So simply, when they met and through their journey in the forest looking for a sleeping cure, their relationship develops and they get married in the forest. After a few years, they have Arnold. Through an earthquake and in a good condition, after some time while living in one of the forest villages, they realize how hard it is to raise a kid in such conditions, so they decide to go back to their hometown where the grandparents live.
Bro, these niggas was in KO Preco? Hey, Arnold parents got married in KO Preco?
Journey in the
what the fuck
story and what happened to them in the adventure. So simply, when they met and through their journey in the forest looking for a sleeping cure, their relationship develops
they got married
and they get married in the forest. After a few years, they have Arnold. Through an earthquake and in a good condition, after some time while living in one of the forest villages, they realize how hard it is to raise a kid in such conditions, so they decide to go back to their hometown where the grandparents lived. Later, a guy from the village came to tell them that the disease has once again spread, that they wanted their help, and that they are their last hope, so they leave and never come back. And the cartoon ends, leaving the truth revealed. After 10 years, a movie was produced in 2017 about Arnold's adventure looking for his parents. The movie is about him and his friends in Central America, the last place where his parents were seen, where they tried to escape from the pirates and find the sleeping cure, which surprisingly was a
So this nigga, Hey Arnold parents got married on KO Preco. Never seen that episode. Yo, what's good, Mike? I ain't even got my chat up. I'm tweaking. I'm gonna be on after I get off here. No wonder my shit doing backflips. I'm not even paying attention to that.
Real disease that has escaped from the pirates and find the sleeping cure, which surprisingly was a real disease that has affected adults for 10 years, and Arnold's parents as well.
Alright, I got you.
Hence the reason they were gone. But in the end, Arnold found the cure and saved his parents, and he finally reunited with them. Helga also confessed her feelings. Gerald also confessed to...
Wait, hold on.
He finally reunited with them. Helga also confessed...
Okay, for one, because there's two things that blew me. This man, Hey Arnold, went and found a cure that his parents were sitting there searching for all his life. This nigga still a kid. This nigga 13. Kissing on a Anthony Davis eyebrow shorty. What the f...
confessed her feelings. Gerald also confessed to Phoebe. The ending was good, but was 10 years too late. The last episode of Danny Phantom ended. The cartoon was fine. It was about a falling meteor. Don't understand why these events repeat themselves, especially in the last few episodes of cartoons. Vlad creates a ghost-busting team to destroy Danny's reputation. Danny decides to use the ghost portal to become normal once again. After becoming normal, Danny and Vlad collaborate to stop the meteor, but Vlad betrays Danny and makes him destroy another planet than the one he's supposed to destroy to ruin his reputation even more. Then, Vlad exposes his true self and claims that he is the last hope of the world's survival. But sadly, his trial was a failure, so Danny decides to go back to the underworld to get his powers back and ask for the world's help to create a machine that hides the Earth so the meteor passes through without damaging it. He also asks for the help of the ghosts to turn the machine on and save the world. Danny saves the world at last and exposes his powers to his family and gets together with Sam. And the cartoon ends happily.
Random ass endings, like random ass Tubi movie ass endings.
I will be. That's what I'm counting on.
They should have said which, like, the ratings.
The last episode of Teen Titan was called Things Change, and it was interesting, dramatic, and very...
This right here was the serious Teen Titans. High school Teen Titans right here. They still on Danny Phantom, what the fuck? But nah, they still ain't even get to Amazing World of Gumball. What the hell? Hold on.
Very sad. To understand the episode, we have... And it was interesting, dramatic, and very sad. To understand the episode, we have to go back to where Tara sacrificed her own life to save the world and was turned into a statue. This girl is Beast Boy's girlfriend, and in the last episode, she came back but had memory loss apparently. Beast Boy tried to communicate with her, but it didn't work. He even tried to refresh her memory, but unfortunately, she just couldn't remember.
This episode.
Beast Boy then tried to get answers from Slide because he was the one responsible for her memory, but they ended up fighting. By the end of the episode, Beast Boy kept trying to bring back her memory, but she told him that things changed.
I just realized why they used to always make a old show like a old show something like this. I don't know why everything was dark anyway. Like everything had to be dark in some type of way. This was like the Dark Teen Titans. But why it used to be this fat ass flashlight flash coming through the, like, what the hell? They used to always add that for, like, what was that, for cinematic purposes or something? Like, what, for animation? Like, what the hell? That shit used to fuck up my eyes. Do me foul. Do my shit's foul. Boom, pop up. It'd be dark as hell. The whole episode, boom, they go to class, lead clap. Oh. I'm blind now? Like, what the?
And that the girl he knew was just a memory.
Tara. Things change, Beast Boy. The girl you want me to be is just a memory.
So the cartoon ends with this not only sad but satisfying ending. The last episode of Chowder was a little bit boring. It was about Chowder and the other characters maturing. Mung and his wife retired, Schnitzel married Mung's enemy, Panini married Chowder, and they had a ton of kids. So the whole episode was about Chowder adapting to maturity and trying to learn cooking so that he becomes the next monk. You must remember Camp Lazlo, and if you went ahead and watched the cartoon again, the ending is quite choking. The last episode is Lumpus's Last Stand. It's about the principal and the way he invented clothing that shows up when you cover your body with paint because their clothes were dirty. Until someone teleported from the future telling him that he saved the world with this idea, and they made a statue in his honor. But then the police arrived with someone who claims to be the real principal and that the other principal was lying for 5 seasons. The police took him to the mental hospital, and just like that, the cartoon ends. The episode was really strange. The last episode of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends was the best, where Mac's parents decided to move to another city and put Blue under adoption by another family. Throughout the whole episode, Blue was trying to be nice to Mac until the last scene where he got worked up and insulted Mac for leaving him. Then he discovers that Mac is leaving temporarily, but he will come back.
Hold on.
Leaving him. Then he discovers that Mac is leaving.
It's like everybody has some type of significance, something about them, right? You know, you can say I guess they something. Even a monster. What the fuck was Blue? This nigga was just like a marker. You draw it on a piece of paper. They zipped it up, made. Like, what the fuck is he compared to everybody else? Bird, bunny, human, like, Will, like, what is he? What was he? Show was fire, but what was he? I still don't know.
Leaving temporarily, but he will come back.
The ending of Kim Possible had 2 episodes under the name of Graduation. It was simply about graduation, where the characters were preparing themselves for their future career and leaving school. Also, the development of Kim and Ron's relationship. And in the first part of Graduation, when Kim was saying her speech, she was kidnapped by aliens who attacked the Earth. Then she collaborates with Dr. Draken to escape and beat the aliens. And together with Ron, they win at last, and Dr. Draken becomes a good guy. They graduate happily. Ron and Kim's relationship develops more than ever. We see through the seasons. The ending was expected and logical for such a cartoon. In the last episode of Phineas and Ferb, you would think that finally Candace exposes them. Their mother knows, or that either Perry catches Dr. Hines at last, or they discover he's a secret agent, but no, nothing of this happens. In the last episode, they just grow older, and Isabella and Phineas become into a relationship. The episode starts with the show producers reading the fans' letters, where a fan wonders whether they'll see Phineas and Ferb as teenagers. Again, the episode was about Phineas and his...
What the fuck?
Whether they'll see Phineas and Ferb as teenagers. Again,
I almost lied and said I seen this episode until I looked at this nigga. What the fuck was they doing with him? They know this a damn lie. You telling me short, fat, military haircut, skull on the shirt, faced ass, Buddy slim? Buddy just needed some height. There ain't nobody fat. Nobody got fat. He ain't stay fat and nobody got fat. What the fuck?
The episode was about Phineas and Isabella's relationship. She was leaving for university in another city, and before she leaves, Phineas confesses his feelings to her. Ferb and Vanessa's relationship was also mentioned, and that's it.
I had a big crush on you.
Wow, I had no idea.
I almost paused for that,
really?
But I remember that.
I thought I was being so obvious.
I just didn't
I
remember
guess I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes. Yes, you will.
At all, shit.
A special episode was later produced under the name of Last Day of Summer, which was about the characters disappearing in a parallel world while Phineas and Ferb try to save them. Dr. Hines also tries to fix his relationship with his daughter, and in the end, he becomes a good guy. But still, it is not the last episode. Act Your Age is the last episode.
It's hard to predict the ending of Cat Dog. The last episode of this cartoon was overly dark under the name Meet Dog's Finds, where Dog discovered that the meat he he has been eating came from other animals. At night, he had a nightmare about the meat that he had been eating, and he decided that he shouldn't eat anymore because it comes from animals, and animals are his friends. So, the next day, he is vegan. However, he couldn't control himself and started hallucinating about the food that he wanted to eat. So he tried eating.
What?
This nigga had... So he stopped eating meat to get sausage partied by all the vegetables. At the end of the episode of Cat Dog. Hell no. Fucked up.
Rocks, but couldn't. And at some point,
He even tried to eat rocks.
he attempted to eat cat. But fortunately, the man who plants meat trees appeared and saved Dog. The last episode was scary, yet sad. It makes you sympathize with Courage. It was simply about the childhood of Courage, where his parents were kidnapped by a crazy scientist.
Hold on. Hold on.
The last episode was scary, yet sad. It makes you sympathize with Courage. It was simply about the childhood of Courage, where his parents were kidnapped by a crazy scientist and sent to space. Courage tried to save them, but he couldn't, so instead, they just said goodbye. Then, the same crazy scientist tried to send Muriel and Eustace to space, but Courage was able to save them. Hello and welcome to Brief Toon. It's no surprise that the most popular cartoons have a huge audience, and to satisfy these audiences, spin-offs, movies, and even alternate endings were made. So today, we will talk about some cartoon endings, and then the alternative ones that have followed. Let's start with Adventure Time. The last episode, named Come Along With Me, is set 1,000 years after the events of the series. Two adventurers, named Shermie and Beth, find Finn's old mechanical arm and...
Shermie? Bro, you had to be off the drugs to be watching Adventure Time, bro. What the This was for kids? What the
Last episode, named Come Along With Me, is set 1,000 years after the events of the series. Two adventurers, named Shermie and Beth, find Finn's old mechanical arm and seek out the King of Ooh, who is the older Beemo, to learn about its origins. Beemo then recounts the story of the Great Gum War. According to Beemo's retelling, Princess Bubblegum was in a war against her uncle Gumbald, but they reconcile later. Just as that is about to happen, the powerful Golb arrives, threatening to destroy Ooh. Inside Golb, Betty sacrifices herself using the Ice Crown's wish-granting power to try to eliminate Golb. When that fails, using the Ice Crown's wish-granting power to try to eliminate Golb. When that fails, she wishes to protect Simon at all costs, fusing with Golb and exiting Ooh.
Bro, what the fuck?
She wishes to protect Simon at all costs, fusing with Golb and exiting Ooh through a portal.
I wish for Golb to disappear.
I wish for Golb to disappear!
I wish for the power to keep Simon safe.
With Golb's essence vulnerable to music, Finn, Jake, and everyone join together in song, weakening Golb just enough for Finn and Simon to escape. Fern, Finn's grass-based counterpart, passes away after reconciling with Finn.
That's okay. Just promise to plant me there.
A new tree sprouts from Fern's remains, with Finn's sword in the top. We don't know what happened after that. However, in one episode of a new series called Distant Lands, Finn and Jake are now dead and in the dead worlds. But they are coming back to life, and that's how the cartoon ends. Hopefully there will be more. And there is more, because Fiona and Cake is the spin-off of Adventure Time. Now, while Finn and Jake do not feature prominently in the same way as in the original series, their essence is echoed through Fiona and Cake's adventures. We see them as old people in their original timeline, and as different characters in the future in other dimensions. But we're not going to go all the way through this, as it gets kind of complicated, and that's for another video. Now, with Tom and Jerry, the last episode, Blue Cat Blues, is about Tom falling head over heels in love with a beautiful white cat.
That boy Tom used to be, look at his face, look. That boy Tom used to be different with EC. Look, fine shit come. He white, he blue.
At
Johnny
first,
Bravo
the white cat seemed to reciprocate Tom's feelings, but she was just manipulating him to get material stuff. She ended up leaving Tom for the wealthy Butch. In the end, as Jerry sits beside the despondent Tom on the railroad tracks, they see Butch and the white cat drive by, now newly married. Heartbroken, Jerry realizes his girlfriend has also left him for a wealthier suitor. So the two friends sit together, waiting for the approaching train, their fates left uncertain. Now, despite the controversial episode's suicidal theme, the cartoon's production did keep going. With Ed, Edd, and Eddy, now this show seems to have had many last episodes. The last episode of the 4th season, named Take This Ed and Shove It, was supposed to be one of them. The kids realize that they're growing up and they get scared. Eddie falls into a hole and gets hit on the head. He wakes up to find himself and his friends as elderly senior citizens 90 years in the future. He tries to escape this strange future, but in the end, Eddie, still an old man, the next last episode is the last episode of the 5th season, named A Fistful of Ed, where Eddie becomes a bully, realizes his mistake, and tries to redeem himself. The last episode is a movie that was released in 2009. It's about when Ed, Edd, and Eddy went on an adventure to locate Eddie's brother's whereabouts. When they find Eddie's brother, he is revealed to be physically abusive towards Eddie, unlike how Eddie described him. In the end, the Eds return home, and yeah, that's pretty much it. With Steven Universe,
I might say Ed and Eddy got the best, because that was 3 endings. I might say Ed and Eddy got the best show endings for a cartoon show. Like, those are just original, funny. You can end it there. It really didn't matter, even if it was more.
There were 2 endings for it. The original one was Change Your Mind, and it was 40 minutes long. Steven wakes up, realizing he's still in the prison tower. Blue Diamond scolds as he tries to explain what happened while desperately searching for Connie. Blue continues to chastise him for bringing organic life back from the Kyanite colony. Confused, Steven realizes that this is another one of Pink Diamond's memories, and in them, he sees Yellow and Blue Diamond as they prepare to attack. Terrified, he flashes between Rose Quartz and Pink Diamond. Steven wakes from a nightmare to find Connie. Blue Diamond is upset that he won't act like a diamond and demands an apology. After confronting her about her treatment of Pink, Blue realizes her past behavior made Pink miserable and decides to help find the other crystal gems. They confront Yellow Diamond, which of course leads to a fight. Steven reminds Yellow that her perfectionism harms who she loves, prompting her remorse. The Diamonds then reconcile, but White Pearl intervenes, taking control of White Diamond's ship. Lapis and Peridot carry Bismuth and Connie, while Steven fuses with Amethyst and Pearl to form Smoky Quartz and Rainbow Quartz 2.0. To fight back, Steven fuses with Ruby and Sapphire into Obsidian to confront the mecha, which is soon swatted away. After separation, they enter Mech's pupil to face White Diamond, who extracts Steven's gem. Steven wakes as a human, with his gemstone transforming into Pink Diamond. He screams that Pink is gone and blocks White's attack, but Pink Diamond.
That nigga just went Kaioken.
Steven wakes as a human, with his gemstone transforming into Pink Diamond. He screams that Pink is gone and blocks White's attack, but loses control when she unleashes her gems. Connie gives human Steven to Gem Steven, and they recombine. He then makes her lose control over the mind-controlled gems. Steven reunites with the crystal gems and comforts Pink Pearl. White Diamond feels flawed, and Steven encourages her to embrace her true self. Now back on Earth, Sadie Killer performs in Beach City, while the others reunite with Steven as they search for a cure for corruption. They realize their final attack caused the Nephrite's corruption and restore the gems in Steven's mother's garden. A healed Jasper stops her attack upon seeing the diamonds. As the diamonds depart, Steven plays a song on the beach, joined by the crystal gems as a shooting star streaks overhead.
You're mine.
Now, this other ending is another season's called Steven Universe Future, and in the final episode, Steven struggles with his identity as he feels the pressure to meet certain expectations and realizes that he needs to prioritize his mental health. So, he decides to leave Beach City to explore his own path outside of being a hero. The gems pretend not to care, but as he prepares to leave, they burst out crying and they all promise to remain best friends. Steven finally leaves Beach City in his car, searching for his destiny. Moving on to regular show, the last episode in this is titled A Regular Epic Final Battle, and it serves as the show's finale and is made out of 3 parts. The park crew arrives at Lollyland, which is the birthplace of Pops and Anti-Pops, where they learn that they had previous conflicts that have ended in stalemate, causing the universe to reset. Pops strikes a deal with Anti-Pops. Whoever lands the first blow decides the universe's fate. However, Anti-Pops breaks the deal and continues fighting. Meanwhile, the park crew battles Anti-Pops' minions and streaming modem. As Pops punches Anti-Pops away, Anti-Pops unlocks his Titan form and begins erasing Lollyland. Muscle Man and High Five Ghost are hit by an erasing beam, and only Mordecai, Rigby, and Pops are spared. Enraged by the loss, Pops transforms into his Titan form, and the two clash it out. Mordecai realizes this will reset the universe and tries.
Bro, this is Eternals. These niggas did an Eternals episode of regular show. What the fuck is these niggas Celestials for? What? They nuggets, bro. Both they nuggets is huge, bro. Like, look, bro. God, fuck. These niggas turn Celestial.
The two clash it out. Mordecai realizes this will reset the universe and tries to intervene, but he's unable, leading to the universe's reset, and because of that, Rigby feels deja vu while fighting the beef burrito doll, and after touching a futuristic Blu-ray box set, Mordecai regains his memories. They realize their actions caused the time glitch and hope to help Pops save the universe. In the battle, Pops sacrifices himself and Anti-Pops by flying into the sun, restoring everyone who was erased. Now, 3 years later, the park crew returns to Earth, reuniting with loved ones. Rigby shares a kiss with Eileen, and a memorial statue honors Pops. 25 years later, Mordecai becomes an artist, and Rigby has a family. At a reunion by Pops' statue, they reminisce and share their catchphrases one last time.
Whoa!
The screen fades to static, revealing Pops in the afterlife, happily saying, "Jolly good show," marking the series end. Next up, we're looking at Clarence. Now, Clarence's finale is titled Anywhere But Sumo. In the days leading up to the summer break, Sumo and Clarence reflect on their haircut anniversary. Sumo agrees to let Clarence cut his hair, but Clarence reflect on their haircut. But Sumo. In the days leading up to the summer break, Sumo and Clarence reflect on their haircut anniversary. Sumo agrees to let Clarence cut his hair, but on the day of the anniversary.
Stop. Rocky and Coop. Stop.
His school friends cut it instead, leaving Clarence feeling betrayed and jealous. He worries that Sumo is spending more time with them and he feels left out. He races to their special couch and cuts Sumo's last remaining hair that his friends had missed. The group gathers and watches in shock as Sumo's school is destroyed by a runaway bulldozer, but then they cheer because Sumo and his friends will no longer have to attend school. The wall collapses, Clarence exclaims yes, and this marks the end.
Oh, dang.
Shit, that's...
Or
why they catch them like that, though?
does it really? In an episode, Plain Excited, Clarence and his friends are excited about a school field trip on an airplane. However, once they're on the flight, things don't go as planned when Clarence messes around in the cockpit. The plane, well, it's not stated whether it made an emergency landing or actually went down, so we're really not sure if everyone died or just had injuries. But then again, 78.5 years in the future, we see the squad at a retirement home where Clarence, with his amputated leg,
come on, bro.
The future, we see the squad at a retirement.
Why they all got AI legs? Why they all got Tesla legs? What's the reason for all of them at the end of Clarence? All of them. That's just what I'm not understanding. Why all of them got Tesla legs? Why ain't one of them got one Tesla leg? Like,
retirement
They
home
just
where
take your legs and
Clarence,
Clarence
with
future.
his amputated legs, has flashbacks. After the flashback, Jeff and Sumo disagree with Clarence's version, prompting him to suggest that his memories may be fuzzy.
It's like these niggas had Patrick on the show. These niggas had a mad ass Patrick on the show.
Now, this makes us wonder how Jeff and Sumo question his memories when they were not on that plane. Anyways, moving on to Uncle Grandpa. Now, this is known for its surrealist characters and weird events. However,
Also got to be fried out your mind to be watching this.
the finale was just about reminiscing about high school. So, Principal Bullhorn monitors detention after a sarcastic remark from Pizza Steve. When he leaves for the bathroom, Pizza Steve orders pizza, and when it arrives, Bullhorn eats the pizza and gives everyone 2 more detentions. In despair, Pizza Steve tries to escape, but is caught by Zarna and sent back to detention. When Mr. Gus asks Tiger why she's in detention, she says she wanted company. Principal Bullhorn warns them to clean up, but when he finds a paper football, everyone raises their hands. Instead of punishing them, he cancels the detentions and tells them to go home. Uncle Grandpa then offers them a chance to live in his RV for adventures, and they all agree, thus ending the series.
What? What?
Alright, so this next one's really great because we all love We Bare Bears.
Ooh,
and we
fire.
definitely love this crossover because in the last episode, on Panda's birthday,
Yeah,
the
BTS?
Bears give Panda a present signed by his favorite band. Only to find out it's from another band, which really upsets him. To make up for it, Grizzly suggests that they find the band, and Ice Bear tracks them to a hotel. At the hotel, and after a lot of trouble, they get into the hotel and Ice Bear introduces himself to the band as they take a break.
Who
Panda
is this?
hangs out the window, but when Wonho closes it, he falls. Grizzly runs from the bellhop, where Ice Bear invites Monsta X to meet Panda. A crowd of fans appears, causing chaos. Ice Bear evacuates the band from the hotel, but the angry bellhop and crazed Mon Babies block their tour bus. As they approach, Panda slips and falls onto the fans. Monsta X's bus leaves, and injured, Panda thinks he missed them. Grizzly apologizes, but then Monsta X appears from behind a bush. I.M. explains that the bus the fans chased was a decoy, and Shonu reveals they have 5 buses. Grizzly introduces them to Panda, who celebrates his birthday, and Ju-Hyun gives him a headband. Grizzly and Ice Bear encourage Panda to show them his special sign. Reluctantly, he does, and the boys are impressed and ask them to join in. Now, this was supposed to be the ending.
These niggas ended the show meeting Big Time Rush or some shit.
However, the last episode was actually a movie that got released in 2020, where the Bears were sent for trial in jail. Because of all the bad things they caused, Agent Trout thought that they were a menace to humanity, so he put them in jail. The Bears escaped and decided to go to Canada, and thought that they met a lot of people until they reached the borders where they weren't allowed access because they didn't have a passport. Panda Bear and Grizzly Bear got into a fight because it was Grizzly Bear who convinced them that they didn't need a passport. Suddenly, Agent Trout kidnapped them and separated them. Grizzly Bear then sat sadly in his cage thinking that it was all his fault, but he decided that he's not going to give up and broke out of the cage, saved his friends, and then they all got into a fight with the agent that led to a fire. All the bears in the scene made a ladder using their bodies to hang onto the helicopter and successfully ran away. And finally, we look at a fan favorite, Lilo and Stitch. Now, Lilo and Stitch's adventures never end, but in the last episode, Lilo and Myrtle were forced to work together to find buried treasure, when an experiment that binds together uncooperative people with sticky elastic glue appears. Myrtle helps Lilo catch Link, while Stitch becomes stuck to Nani and Jumba becomes stuck to Pleakley. Eventually, they do catch the experiment. However, what could be considered the ending is the Lilo and Stitch 2006 movie. After capturing all the experiments, Lilo, Stitch, Jumba, and Pleakley are celebrated by after capturing all the experiments. Lilo, Stitch, Jumba, and Pleakley are celebrated by the Galactic Alliance. Each receives exciting offers, but they hesitate to leave Lilo. She encourages them to go, gifting Jumba an Elvis record, Pleakley a rock, and Stitch a Kutiki necklace. Meanwhile, Gantu breaks Dr. Hamsterville out of prison, and together they force Jumba to create a powerful new experiment named Leroy. Stitch confronts Leroy, but gets captured due to a distraction from Pleakley. Hamsterville plans to clone an army of Leroys and lock Stitch,
Why the fuck did they call him Leroy? What the fuck?
Action from Pleakley. Hamsterville plans to clone an army of Leroys and...
Why did they call this nigga Leroy though? The other Stitch, what Stitch? Oh, Leroy, what? They in Hawaii. Where the fuck?
lock Stitch, Jumba, and Pleakley in a vehicle aimed at a black hole. Lilo tries to contact Stitch using Gantu's broken video phone and comforts 625, whom she names Reuben. Reuben repairs the phone, but Leroy fails to impersonate Stitch. Gantu orders Leroy to capture the experiments. Lilo asks Reuben to fix Gantu's ship, which he does. Meanwhile, Stitch escapes his capsule as the ship heads for the black hole. Jumba suggests throwing something in to disrupt its course, and Stitch throws Pleakley's rock. Leroy captures Lilo's scrapbook and Myrtle. Lilo learns Hamsterville has taken over the Galactic Alliance. Gantu helps them escape from the Leroy clones, and the GAC vehicle reunites Lilo and Stitch. At Aloha Stadium, Leroy reveals his plan, but the BRB 9000 arrives. Jumba recalls a shutdown command for Leroy, Elvis's Aloha Oi. Stitch sings it with Lilo and Reuben, causing the Leroys to malfunction, and Hamsterville is captured again. Stitch, Jumba, and Pleakley request to...
They can't keep a hamster in jail, bro. They couldn't keep a hamster. Well, he did get broken out, but like, come on now. Come on now. Y'all just wrap folks up with some tape and then just throw them in a... Come on now. I better throw that nigga in a cage and lock it the fuck up.
Back on Earth, Lilo prepares for one last Ohana picture, and Myrtle arrives with Gigi, who only participates after realizing her dog is an experiment. Lilo's final photo includes her Ohana and Stitch's cousins. In a closing scene, Hamsterville is back in prison, surrounded by Leroy and his clones. And wouldn't you know it, that's gonna be it for today's video.
Leroy, they called him. What the fuck type of... No, that was fire though. That was fire though. I'm not sure I like that last one. That was fire.
Every last episode of a series...